And welcome, guys, to Nerd TV for another OP Buttkicker Grand National Series event for race number 10 live from the very cloudy simulated Daytona International Speedway as these OP drivers are set to go 70 laps like they do every single Wednesday on yet another super speedway here as we got our weather on the screen now. 75 degrees in the air, 53% humidity, cloudy, and 7-mile-an-hour winds. So that's about a decently average cool night, I suppose. It's not 75 in the real world. I can contest to that for sure. But, regardless, that's what we got in the simulated world, and I want that weather here now. So my name is Jeremy Stanley, a.k.a. Jay Swifty, and not to my right-hand side is our producer slash commentator slash the guy who's trying to figure out what the hell Stream Deck did slash the man who's handicapped tonight, and we're going to talk about it on this pre-race show presented by Icon Apparel, which you can't see that graphic either. So Dustin, minus all of that nonsense, how is your faceless voice tonight?
Yeah, it's going good. So as you guys could probably tell, I'm pulling what little bit of hair on the top of my head out because I shaved my head. Thanks to Stream Deck, you gotta love updates and bugs
down dates?
Yeah, down dates and bugs that are not aware to the company. So I have no producer buttons whatsoever now. So all the fancy stuff that we usually have that we've put so much work into, I cannot turn that stuff on and off. So we are going essentially just the racing action and SDK tonight because Stream Deck couldn't read that Streamlabs was running, even though Streamlabs was running no matter what I tried. So technology is a love-hate relationship, and right now it is a hard hate at this point in time, but we're going to bring you the racing action regardless.
Yeah, it's part of the world that we live in. We go so much on technology, which is fancy. You got all the cool toys and gadgets, and then someone turns off the off switch, and, well, you don't get anything. So this is what we're going to be doing here tonight. So for the 11 viewers currently on YouTube, ask any question you want, more so than before, because we don't have graphics to show you. We do have some graphics. We have some. We're not completely blank. We'll have a ticker. We'll have, the count or the top 5, top 10, but there's not going to be any fancy like the race information page. There's not going to be that kind of stuff. So ask away any questions that you would like to know that we can't produce a graphic for, and we will make it happen for you. And Dan Parent on YouTube says, "Hi, nerds. Well, what's going on, Mr. Dan? Welcome to an OP race for race number 10. We do have half a minute left in this practice session. As you see, some guys tearing it up here late in the going, as they've already had their practice done. They've ran their laps. They're doing their funness right now before qualifying starts off. And this is going to be a great event. We just come fresh off probably the worst event that OP's had in quite some time on Wednesdays. The Dustin, the Legacy ARCA car and iRacing Super Speedway at OP. I think theoretically they should put that lock and key should be thrown away.
Yeah. And I don't know if it was the car and just the runs it generated, if it was the track, if it was a combination of it, but or if it was a combination of us getting later in the season, points and everything else really starting to add up, people trying to make as much headway as possible, but the aggression levels were definitely much higher, much bolder moves, and the track didn't help because a wreck that would typically at a Daytona or Talladega maybe collect 4 cars, at IRSS collects like 12 cars, so that didn't help matters at all either. But I know these drivers are looking to try to put that behind them, have a good race tonight. It's bumpy Daytona, Legacy Daytona. It's a rough track, but it has that classic nostalgia feel that we're always accustomed to. B cars are always excellent at Daytona and Talladega, so the only issue is drivers going to have to watch those bumps. Not only on the track, but also on the bumpers as well. these B cars. They have a hard time sometimes, and if it's not set right, these cars sometimes do not take a bump very well. Not like the Legacy ARCA cars that we seen run last week, where you can literally give a bump and it usually holds it.
Yeah. This car has always been my favorite out of the three ovals. I know you prefer trucks. I am like almost a 50-50 split between trucks and Xfinity. Xfinity just has my heart, though. Probably just because it's a car versus a truck. And I've always been a car person, but they both drive phenomenal. And if anyone has the next gen / Gen 7 car on their top of the list, you can just exit the chat because there's not a conversation to be had until they do
Especially
some
not with
massive
me.
updates. Yeah,
Not with
especially
me.
not with us. That's for sure. Stephen Lane on the chat saying hi, everyone. How are y'all doing tonight? I'm doing great. We're doing fantastic here. We had kind of like a little 2 weeks off. We haven't really had too much broadcasting going, but we're back full swing 3 nights a week. Starting now, as we're going to be on board with a couple of drivers here in this qual session. Remember, graphics are kind of at a minimum. We're on board the 48 of Andrew Schroeder.
Nope.
There for
Crosby
no, actually,
Jr.
I'm about light. Crosby Jr., you're right. I saw the green and white out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, that's Schroeder. No, that is definitely one of the Crosbys. There with the skull scheme. I should have known that by reading the text, but it's okay. Reading is my second language. But we got 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in this session. And the fastest top 5 in practice, for the ones who like to keep track, was Gary Bergeron, P1, Andy Briganti, 2nd, Rick Sanchez, 3rd, Anthony English, 4th, and Les Levy, 5th. We all know that means nothing in Super Speedway world, but just want to highlight that kind of thing. And we're going to cycle through. Here's Gary Bergeron, the driver of the... I still don't know why he has number 1, but 999's on the tower. No one in OP runs the number 1, Dustin, if I'm not mistaken. They did last year. Josh Ball, he ran it, and I think he might be back. But I'm not sure why he runs the 1 on the door, but 999 on the tower. But end of the day, he's taking his lap 2 right now.
Yeah, not sure on that. But yeah, Steven, to answer your question, I mean, it's going. Hindered thanks to technology. It's a love-hate relationship, but we're going to bring the race in action regardless. We always bring high energy to the broadcast, and that's what we're gonna do. So it's I'm hoping for a better race, and I know it's going to be a better race than what the Legacy ARCA at IRSS was last week. But it does feel good, even with the issues being back in full swing after the July 4th holiday. Hopefully everybody had an excellent July 4th and a safe 4th of July. Got to spend it with friends and family, and everybody was safe. Nobody set themselves on fire with fireworks. That does happen. Yes, it does happen. But it does feel good to be back in full swing starting tonight. Broadcast tonight, tomorrow, Sunday. So, but I clearly have my hands full trying to get technology to stop hating me as much as what it does. So,
listen, there could be 1,000 PSAs on every TV channel about blowing yourself up on 4th of July, and someone will still find a way to do it. Fireworks can be unpredictable too. I know last year I took a shard of mortar to the collarbone. That was just because it never came out of the tube, and so we had to kind of abort mission. But that's fine. That's part of the gig. You have a little fun, a little thrill in your life for one time a year, maybe twice if you do it for New Year's. But we're filing in the last 15 seconds into this qualifying session now. Your top 5 is Jeff Crosby Jr., Gabe Butler, Les Levy, Jimmy Reynolds, and Sean McCarron. And looks like William Luttrell says, Stephen Luttrell fan club here. Say, hey, Stephen Lane. So looks like both Luttrells will be joining us in this fine YouTube chat. As we already got half of a column of chats to scroll through.
I love it.
That's kind of cool.
Love it. Keep it rolling.
Guys, keep spamming it because we have limited stuff to talk about. We actually cannot go commercial. So not only can we not talk about graphics, we literally cannot pause our voice unless I say, hey, we are going to mute our microphones temporarily for 30 seconds or so. So give us something to talk about, please, because that'll be quite appreciated on both of our ends over here. So, Dustin, I don't know. We're gonna learn in real time too. I don't know what graphics you have at your disposal. We're just literally learning in real time. So, I'm gonna go down the count or the starting lineup tonight, and you do have that graphic.
I do.
Beautiful. Look at that.
We're not dead in the water, my man.
Not completely dead yet. All right, here's starting lineup for race number 10 of the OP Buttkicker Grand National Series at the Zach Workman at Daytona. Jeff Crosby Jr., Gabe Butler is your front row. Les Levy, Jimmy Reynolds makes row 2. Sean McCara, Dave Hunt make up row 3. Eric Lowry and Zach Fritsch make up row 4. Row 5 consists of Scott Wise and Anthony English. Row 6 is Roberts Hooligan and Everett Lane. Row 7 is Richard Kuhn and Rick Sanchez, the Rick Tango. Row 8 will be Andy Berganti and Dude Conrad. Row 9 is Adam Kilday and Jeff Crosby Sr. Row 10, Gary Bergeron and Nathan Warren. Row 11 is Dana Shepard, Vicente Guerrero. Row 12, Alex Green, Dwayne Corbett. Row 13 will be Justin Coy, Harold Rothery. Row 14, Derek Donna, Mike Edgerton. And the rest is sorted by their I ratings from highest to lowest. And that is Sebastian Marin, which I don't know if I've heard that name in a little bit, Dustin. Kenny Reel, I think that's a new name. Stephen Luttrell, Mark Mann, Christopher Jordan and his Christmas in July scheme, Shane Posey, Andrew Schroeder, Lynn McNeese, and of course your caboose, Mr. Douglas R. Johnson. So there it is. 37 cars in the session, ready to take action for 70 laps at Daytona. We know what this place is about, Dustin. We know what we're going to see. Who's going to come out on top here tonight?
Absolutely. And again, love the chats lighting up. Ginger Parent did ask, are we blaming the cars or the drivers for last week? So, yes, to both of those. Over aggression on some drivers' parts, absolutely. You know, we call it as we see it as broadcasters. We see a lot of stuff, and apparently that camera angle sucks. But we call it as we see it. That's the golden rule as a broadcaster. And there was a lot of over aggression from a number of drivers last week, not just one or two, but it was a number of them. And I don't think the track nor the cars helped the situation at all either, to answer your question. So. Kakoi said, completely understand about computer issues. That's why I missed the last 2 weeks with a broke motherboard. I feel that pain, my man. Technology, it sucks. It definitely sucks. So, yeah, Jeff, I probably did break something. That's Jeff Brown from iRacing iFlag. What a jerk he has to be in there and shout me out that.
We're not doing a sponsor plug together, man. This just not happening.
Oh, my.
But here we go. Pace car is down. Green flag is underway for the 70 laps. Zachary Workman at Bumpy Daytona. And going off. It looks like everybody is gone through third gear. And they're going to get the fourth gear about now as they get to turn 1. Cars are already shifting around mid-pack because this place is bumpy, which on the chat, what was it? Yeah, Stephen Lane said this is his favorite track of all time. Stephen Luttrell loves Bumpy Daytona with complete sarcasm involved in that comment. Back straight away into turn 3, Dustin. 2 by 2 by 2. Don't expect 3 wide just yet.
Yeah, 3 wide is if they pace themselves, 3 wide is going to be a little bit later on in the race. This one here, you can see these cars jostling around all over the place. That's not because these drivers can't hold a line. That is just how rough this track is. There are bumps every place around this track, and it will send these cars up and down, left and right. It makes corner entry difficult. It makes corner exit difficult. It also makes lining up a bump difficult at times because, Jeremy, Murphy's Law, it never fails. The second you go to try to line up a square bump, the driver you're trying to bump hits a bump on the track, and now you're not center. So it definitely adds a whole new level of difficulty at this track.
100% there. Jeff Brown back on the chat saying, just joking, guys. You do a great job. So I guess he wants us to plug his stuff. So
Damage
thanks
control.
for the recovery. Damage control at its finest. Want to, you know. And then Stephen Lane saying, "Okay, Mr. Jeremy. ... Yeah, no, it's not your favorite track. That's you actually said you hate this track. So she said, show me a smooth spot on this track. Yes, it's going to be actually behind pit road wall. I know you can't access it on this service, at least without someone ramping you over the wall. But if you go past the pit road on the infield, you could probably find a smooth patch. And that's the only spot you can find here on the track. As the 17 has a good little lead here from 4th to 1st already in 3 laps. Runs the inside. Dave Hunt on the outside. A lot of movement around for 6th or 7th. I thought they were going to go 3 wide for a moment. They stay 2 wide at the line. 17. Jimmy Reynolds to the front.
Yeah, Jimmy Reynolds up front leading right now. He's got big pushes from the 88 of Gabe Butler. We've talked about there are a number of drivers in this series and this league as a whole as OP that are probably deemed and held in high regard as some of the best bumpers. The 88 of Gabe Butler, definitely one of the best pushers out there. And there's a list of drivers that me personally, when I'm out there on the track, I have no issues with those drivers being behind me because I have the utmost confidence in their abilities as pushers. So right now, Gabe Butler giving Jimmy Reynolds everything he can. Dave Hunt trying to get something moving on that top side, Jeremy. He's got pushes from Zach Fritsch in that 12. And then your third in line, Jeff Crosby Jr., your pole sitter, is third in line on the inside. Anthony English, third in line on the outside. And I bring that up because at a drafting track, that third car in line is probably one of the most important cars to maintain a draft push.
Absolutely true there. One car, the 1380 Brigante, going to the inside of the yellow line to go to the back of the field, it looks like, as he just lets up the throttle a little bit, merges right before the corner entry of turn 3. He's probably not feeling too good about what's going on in front of him, so taking the precautionary measures to just settle on in back in the field. And he read that perfectly through the slippery, smooth surface. Goes the 17 in. Caution, first time on lap number 6. The leaders, Dustin. The leaders with a bad bump entering the tri-oval.
That was so close.
You don't see that often. You usually see that in corner entries, not tri-oval entry, but we got Nerd TV replay to look over.
Yeah, no rewind, so we're not going to have all the fancy stuff, but we're still going to rewind it. Yes, I said the fancy stuff, Jeremy, the fancy stuff. So yeah, it's and this is what we're talking about. You know, it's as they're going in that tri-oval has bumps going into it, and Gabe Butler, just as he was,
it's a door check.
It's a door check from the top side. The 53 and the 12 came down, both hit Gabe Butler and Jimmy Reynolds. And watch this. This was Gabe Butler and Jimmy Reynolds, excellent piece of driving. Jimmy Reynolds pulls it down left to keep it from going back up, spins. But if we sit here and watch Gabe Butler, watch how close he gets to hitting Jimmy Reynolds. Oh, man, in the grass, no contact. Jimmy Reynolds does not hit anything. Doesn't hit pit wall, so excellent save by both drivers. That could have been far worse. But Jeremy, like you said, we're going to see drivers that are going to take that route to go to the back. They just see something that they don't like, or they have that gut feeling, that spidey sense, hairs on the back of their neck are raising. They will follow their instinct. And I tell you what, that was a good call by Andy Briganti, because not but a half a lap after he did that, and you see what transpired.
Right on the money. He knew exactly what was going to happen. And let you know, future teller himself, Andy Briganti, out there doing things.
Maybe he can tell me the winning lottery numbers for next week.
Yeah, which one, though?
All of them. All of them. That's the only correct answer.
Could you imagine buying 5 tickets for 5 different, and then you get them all in the same week?
Oh, man.
That's stupendous, man. That'd just be... I wouldn't try any more of my luck for the rest of my life, but we're on pit road here. I did go back to, on my camera angles, and what originally caused that wreck was the 12, Mr. Fritsch. He actually went down a little bit right behind Dave Hunt, and then came back up. And as he was moving back up the track, he tagged him right in the rear end. And with these softer bumpers that these cars produce, when you offset a bump like that, it's going to shift the car in the opposite direction. So he came up. That means the 53 was going to go down, and then they both just naturally got carried into the right door panels of the two cars below. Was set off that wreck. And from the chats, Stephen Lane said, "What a save to keep from hitting the walls." Absolutely. Checker Flag Motorsport saying, "Good driving to keep from hitting anything." Yeah, that was fantastic stuff there.
Ginger, your parents' comment. My man, I love it. Throwing the brown flag for the pace car.
And introduce the 8th flag in racing is the brown flag. That'll be... I don't know when you wave that. I guess you'd wave it alongside the yellow flag. Is that how you'd wave the brown flag?
In all honesty, I don't think I'd want to wave the brown flag, knowing what it is.
maybe it's like the black flag. We're only throw it like to seldom cars, not tell the whole field. So.
Oh, it was though. I mean that.
88.
Yeah, that was an excellent save though. Excellent save by both drivers. That could have been way worse, and that's kind of what we're talking about. Touching base on last week, Jeremy, was that incident right there that involved essentially 4 cars. 2 of them continued on going, and that was Hunt and Fritsch. But I mean, the only 2 that actually went off track were Jimmy Reynolds, and Gabe Butler. That incident at IRSS probably would have collected at least 6 to 7 cars minimum on that one because of the way that track is, and that's why that just adds to it. You can't. There's nothing small when it comes to IRSS, and that includes the wrecks. Wreck avoidance is a lot harder, and being collected in a wreck is much higher at that one. Whereas drivers here at Daytona and Talladega, it's more in their hands to be able to save it and to not collect other drivers.
Absolutely there, and we got 3/4 of a lap left before we're going to find our second green flag of the evening. Going to be on lap number 10, which is going to put us 26 laps till stage end. So if they do go green, we have still one mandatory green flag pit stop to be had. But we're going to shout out one of our partners, and I poked at iRacing iFlag, so let's go ahead and just knock him out of the park, shall we? iRacingIFlag.com. You have to take my word for it because there's no graphic, but iRacingIFlag.com. What they offer is a customized LED display system. It's a box that's 3D printed, and you can 3D print the color of your choice of both the base that it sits in and the casing itself. And then on top of that, you can customize the base with not one but 2 different sections, again with a complete customized color of your choice, a filament. And so on mine, I have my online name, Jay Swifty, on the upper half of the base, and then my Nerd Raps logo on the lower half. I know Dustin has his own customized, and so does many other people. And you're going to go to iRacingIFlag.com to pick one of these up to get all your iRacing notifications bright and beautiful right in front of your face. It's pretty cool. And Dustin, here we go. We're going back. Green flag on lap 10.
Yeah, so we had a request from Ginger Parent, wanted to see what car Derek Donna was running. He is running the Bad Wrench Service, throwback to Dale Sr. at a fitting track. So, we always like to try to, accommodate for you viewers because you're the whole reason why we're here. So, again, if you guys have any requests, let us know. But we are back to green flag. Jeff Crosby Jr. reclaims the race lead by virtue of the pit stops. He's got Anthony English behind him. Zach Fritsch on that top side with Rick Sanchez back there giving the pushes. Your third in line is going to be Sean McCara on the 71 on the inside behind English, and Richard Kuhn in that 47 behind Rick Sanchez.
DJ Dustin is what I just heard. He's taking your request live on their TV.
I don't need another nickname, Jeremy. I don't need no.
The Triple D, DJ. No, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to do you like that. Here we go. I can't think of any other D's to kind of rhyme you with.
Yeah, don't do me like that.
That's quality for airtime. Maybe after the broadcast is over, we can name those. But one lap complete here on this restart. At the line, the 12 does take the lead with Crosby Jr. on the inside. It currently has the nose advantage over the 12. You mentioned Mr. Rick Kuhn in the 47. He's up from 13th to 5th. So he's one of our bigger movers, if you will, inside the top 10. Harold Rothery, one of the strong movers, from 26th to 9th. We got Stephen Luttrell. Yeah, he's 31st to 12th. There's quite a bit of people from that wreck and pit stop sequence that have picked up quite a bit of positions. But hopefully they didn't put themselves into a spot that might cause some trouble later on.
Yeah, and while you were talking about that, we panned the camera back. There was 3 wide there. Derek Donna got stuffed to the outside there and just freight train, falling all the way back, but was able to rejoin. And, you know, like we said, Jeremy, I expect to see 2 wide racing like this for a while before drivers really start getting antsy. We got 70 laps is the total distance. There's time. I would expect to start seeing the 3 wide racing more so after the conclusion of stage 1. And when we have the second half of the race to go, about 20 laps to go, you're going to see people really probably start to push that. But we've had a change up front right now. So Zach Fritz dropped from Midtown to downtown in front of Jeff Crosby Jr. And now Rick Sanchez leading that lap with big pushes from Rick Kuhn, who now is leading the top side as Sanchez drops down in front of Zach Fritz.
Allow Rick to get some fresh air on the nose of his Chevrolet ZR1, I think. Is that, yeah, it's Chevrolet ZR, because they're not doing the Camaro thing anymore. But they got Dustin, I'm sorry to tell you, but
I seen you started something.
Yeah. So DJ Lugs live on Nerd TV, here to take your requests in real time. As we're coming up to lap number 14, single file for the most part, minus Rick. He's going to lose his draft help momentarily. He's going to fall back a spot or 2. The top 3 are probably going to go single file for just a moment.
Whoa. We got to go back and watch that. We had cars wicked sideways there. That was going to be Derek Donna in the 215. Oh, yes. Got a bump from behind, shot him to the midline, then back down again, kept a hold of it. Little checkup further back. They dropped below the yellow to not ARCA brake the crap out of everybody. What a set of saves by those drivers.
Yeah, fantastic driving. A lot of good driving so far in this race. They are completely making up for last week's event at IRSS. Hopefully we don't see that again. I love this kind of racing, side by side, doing a lot of different things and not wrecking. But we are lap 15 now, 21 laps before stage end. We will be talking to our stage winner regardless of graphics or not, so that is guaranteed. And just some good rotation to keep the front and second place cars cooled off for pushing, just like we usually see. And I'm appreciating this, Dustin. It's a good change of pace from last week.
It really is. You know, drivers, being a little bit more conservative. I see a little bit more give and take, which is what is needed here, especially for these races. In order to finish first, you first must finish. You got to get to the finish. That is the goal. One of the golden rules when it comes to any form of motorsports. So, and again, temperature management, like you said, Jeremy, is going to be a big thing. Like, these drivers are going to have to maintain temperatures. I've seen drivers during practice. We're seeing how long they could stay behind somebody before that motor finally grenaded. So you're going to want to keep your pusher cool and happy, because if they're overheating or they pop a motor and have to use their one and only fast repair, they're probably not going to be as happy. I see on the chats there, Ginger Parent says, best playlist to listen to while driving race cars. All right, so you know what? And here we go. We got pit stops coming down, Jeremy. These are scheduled. This is going to get them to the end. They are looking at stage break is what they're doing. So this right now gets them to the end. So right now we have Kilday, Anthony English, Rick Sanchez, Alex Green, Jimmy Reynolds, and Scott Wise all coming down pit road right now. So it is opened up. But to get back to Ginger Parent, I love jamming out to Saliva. Click, click, boom, Superstar, Superstar 2, always good ones. Give me some AC/DC, Back in Black, Highway to Hell, TNT, Thunderstruck. I'll even throw some Metallica in there with some Fuel. I mean, that's some of the best music I usually love jamming to.
I'm opposite. If I can't hear my car and if I'm focusing on music, I'm going to miss my mark on the track. So I just can't. More pit stops underway here. 2, 3 wide. Entering pit road.
Oh.
Contact. Gabe Butler.
Woo-hoo.
And the 20. As he get down pit road here, that's Dwayne Corbett. 3 wide still on entry here. Scrambling all over the place. But ultimately, they come through clean. -1 car contact. It looked like it was going to be a lot worse, but then they fouled in kind of nicely. And now we're just waiting on the final few drivers to make their pit stops. And that'll complete their green flag cycle because they can make it the rest of the way to stage end here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that was the whole reason why. And usually the drivers that short pit it first typically are the ones that will take over the race lead by the time the pit cycles are, cycle their way completely out. So that was hairy. I mean, 3, 4 wide coming in, and pit road entry at these super speedways can be tricky. Weather plays a factor. If the tires are greasy, they're not going to slow up. They're going to have a chance to lock up. You got slides and everything else, but I tell you what, those drivers did a fantastic job getting into pit road. A little bit of contact between the 20 and the 88, but they were able to do it, and that's the 20 of Corbett and the 88 of Butler. They did a fantastic job. And like you said, Jeremy, it's a nice change of pace. These drivers are able to save these cars. We're not seeing the heavy aggression or anything else. So it's definitely been an excellent change of pace. And I'm loving the race tonight so far.
Absolutely. And remember, guys, we don't have commercial breaks, but we do need to take a breather. So we're going to pause for 2 minutes of station non-identification, and we'll be right back. And we are back here. At least I will be momentarily. We're going to see how well this works because we're learning this on the fly. But we're on lap now 22 of scheduled 70 laps. Stage break coming up here. And, well, now it's going to be 12 laps as they cross the line here on lap 23. So that'd actually be 13 to go. Over there, good to the rest of the way to make it to stage. So no more pit stops from these guys unless they have a caution here in the next few laps. Then maybe they will pit. But we stayed clean, Dustin, all throughout that sequence of green flag stops.
Yeah, staying clean all the way through, and you see that different packs are forming and starting to merge together. Right now, Dave Hunt commanding this race lead. He's getting good pushes from the 06 of Harold Rothery behind him. And Chris Jordan in the 78. And we have a caution on the track. Do we have a soundboard, Jeremy? Do we at least have that?
Station says we have a wreck with... Oh, it started by the 33? Jeff Crosby Jr.? You said, do we have... I don't know what you just asked. I was focused on something else. I don't know what we have. You have those questions answered, but we're going to look at the 33. I know the one was involved here. It's happened way in front. Piling them up. There's the dude Conrad, just tags the number 1 of Gary Bergeron. Not once, but twice. But something happened to the 33 up on the outside lane.
Oh.
Just came down into him after got pushed up to the outside.
Yeah, and that was tough. So again, you see that third lane was coming in. So they were 3 wide going in. So 3 wide, you got McCara, you got Warren, you got Reel, and then you see they're trying to merge, and there was a big pocket of space in between those 2 cars too, Jeremy. That's the other thing that plays a factor in that. There was definitely some airspace in between there. We could have walked in between that space that was there for sure.
Yeah, the code of the nets on this latest major iRacing update has grown. It grows up, just like with anything. It's maturing more. It's taking more space between these cars, and it's eating them alive. Especially at super speedways, you can't trust it anymore from side to side impact. Bumper to bumper, you're okay for the most part, but that side to sideness, you really have to question things. Especially when you go 3 wide at Bumpy Tona, you just kind of in the back of your mind have to go.
Watch,
you know what?
Watch
I'm
dude Conrad. Watch this man was wheeling it. Made contact, got the car sideways, brought it back up on the track, got bumped from Gary Bergeron, and couldn't do it. Front tires were off the track, still sliding. This guy's holding on to it. He's drifting this thing like it's a dirt race. Figures he's going to mow some of the grass as well. Still sliding. Finally gaining some stuff back. More contact there as they're trying to regain it. Never spun it, though. A heck of a job by all the drivers. But I seen him just Jim Connon and on the inside there. I had to point that out.
Yeah, a little assistance from the apron transition and a lot of talent behind the wheel. And there you go. Saves the thing. Very good heads up driving there from the 8. As you guys got a lap and a half left before we go back to green flag, resuming with 9 laps to go before stage end for race number 10 of the 19 race total season for part 2 of 2025. And so we have this race and 3 more races afterwards before the playoffs start. Don't you believe that, Dustin? We're already close to playoff season, which does start August 6th at the Zach Workman at Daytona, the same sponsor as tonight, believe it or not, too. But it's the new version, not the old version. So the rest of the schedule is tonight, which is Bumpy Daytona, and then we have Talladega next week. Then we have a new Daytona the week after, and then Bumpy Daytona, and it's all with different cars. I don't see a repeat car for the rest of the season, so it's kind of cool. New Gen 4 next week, trucks next week after, and then ARCA at the Bumpy Daytona. So there you go. There's your next month on the schedule.
Yeah, it's hard. It's crazy to believe that we're that close to the playoffs, Jeremy. And that, like I said, I mean, that kind of plays into what we were talking about last week's race, and the aggression levels. Drivers are aware of points and where they need to finish and where the drivers near them in points are that they need to finish ahead of. And, I mean, we seen it last season, too, as it got closer to the playoffs, Jeremy. That pressure for the drivers to perform weighs on them so much more, especially if you're down towards the bottom part of that 16 or maybe just under that cut line. the pressure really starts weighing on them, and the drivers they want to perform. They want to have a bid at that chip. They want to have a chance to win a championship. So they put a lot of pressure on themselves, believe it or not, even for this being a video game. Yes, I'm going to call it a video game. For anybody that wants to argue with me, this is literally a racing MMO. I'm telling you it's a video game, but it's an awesome, high-quality video game at that. But they put a lot of pressure on themselves, for sure, to try to perform and to make that cutoff, to make that top 16 for the playoffs.
Just called this a video game. How dare you?
Prove me wrong.
I can't.
Yaha!
You can label it however you want. But at the end of the day, it is coded the same way as F125, same way as Halo, same way as Minecraft. It's all ones and zeros. And we're playing a game. It happens to be iRacing. Here we go. Pace car down. Rick Sanchez throttle at the ready. And the restart happens after the restart zone. That's because they didn't have restart zones in 2008, so that'd be why. But there's a double set of white lines across the track. You would think that maybe choose that for the restart, but nope. As they got going here through the gearbox, gear 3, now gear 4, as they get into turn number 1. This is where it's going to get interesting, because we have 8 laps till stage end. Someone outside that top 10 is going to try something bold. Where's it going to come from?
Yeah, and they are. And we already have somebody that's looking at that third line right now. I believe that's going to be the 12 of Zach Fritsch. Doesn't surprise me that he's selecting to try to take it to that top side. He's taking it high on Kenny Reel, almost makes contact, and that's why at this track that third lane is so tough. You think it's smooth, just like Steven had talked about, there's not a smooth place on this track, but up front, Rick Sanchez has jumped up in front of the 85 of Adam Kilday. He's now leading that mid line because, again, we do have a car on the top side. Anthony English now trying to get something going on the low side. He's got Alex Green behind him, and they're now starting to make some moves, but a lot of space in between Alex Green and Nate Warren, though, and that could affect him in a not so good way.
Very well could here. Rick Sanchez goes to the bottom. Now I'm going to give the 85, Adam Kilday, a chance to cool down his engine. Oh, no, tunnel vision, Dustin. Here we go. The big one. In turn 3 at Bumpy Tona. 6, 7, 8, cars, 9, 10, double digits. They're still piling in heavy. Good thing they have a fast repair, but Dustin, this all started with Gabe Butler with a little bit of tunnel vision. We've talked about it almost week in and week out. And here it is here tonight.
And that is something that you do not see from Gabe Butler. I mean, not saying that anybody's perfect, but Sanchez was crab walking it. But you don't see a tunnel vision thing come from the 88 that often. So, but we all have off days with that. It's just it's unfortunate. I mean, these guys were looking to have an excellent race out there. And this started when the 5 of Sanchez jumped down to give the 85 of Kilday some air. But right there, you see that delta difference. So Gabe Butler is heavy pushing the 85 right now. So that draft did not stop. Sanchez slowed down because he had to wait for Anthony English to get up to him. And that allowed the 85 to really get a good push there. Got cleared. And again, that tunnel vision, when you are just looking at the back bumper of the car or truck in front of you, it is so easy to just follow their line because that's what you're trying to do. And when I say this, I mean this. This has literally happened to every sim racer at some point in time at any track. It happens more so at Daytona, Talladega, but it can happen on any track, and it has happened to every sim racer at some point in time in their sim career.
Yeah, 100% there. And Dustin, I have a total car count for you. You ready for this number?
Hit me.
27 cars. With contact of some sort, either by car or by wall, caused by this wreck in turn 3. So that is 10 cars shy of the complete field, just to put that in perspective. Big one. Absolutely.
And that's not even stage. That caution came
Oh,
out before the completion of 30, and we started 31. So they're still going to race it out. That's why you see drivers like Kilday and Green, Warren, Everett Lane, Gary Bergeron, Harold Rothery, Mark Mann, Vicente Guerrero, and Kenny Reel all stay out because they're still racing to stage. So that is a massive amount, though. It's not very often we see at Daytona, Talladega, we see accidents take that many cars. At IRSS, yes, abso-freaking-lutely. Here, you have it, yes, but it doesn't happen as frequently. So to see it, that one, Jeremy, that's probably been since we started broadcasting last season for the Buttkicker Grand National Series. That's probably, maybe only the second, maybe third out of almost 2 seasons now that we've actually seen a big one of that size.
yeah, no, absolutely, no kidding. And I should probably start counting those numbers more. I just, from the very front of the field to the brake checks that are happening in 20th place on back, they just kept filing in and filing in. So the whole field just not, there's a good amount of damage that was taken for sure, but I think about half the cars that were on that list just had maybe right front, left front, right rear.
Bumper.
It wasn't like drastic. Yeah, definitely some kind of bumper damage. So it shouldn't be too. It shouldn't affect them too much, but we'll find out when this field thins out. If there's another wreck like that, Dustin, of course you get the one fast repair. We've talked about it. This field might start thinning out quite a bit. So, but not for this restart. No, we still have we have 4 laps to go when we get the green flag to end stage.
Yeah, and it's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be a good race down to the end here. These drivers are gonna be given everything they have. I mean, again, we talked about the playoffs going to be starting here in just a couple weeks, so every point counts. And if you can get some quick points, some gimme points by finishing in the top 10 a stage, even if you're 10th, that 1 point, that could make or break. That could be the difference. I mean, a lot of the times throughout the season, we've seen the difference of the, above the cut line and below the cut line be exactly 1 point. So these drivers they're going to be giving it everything they can over the next few weeks, especially around stage time, to try to nab those ever valuable stage points.
Yeah, it's not a cliche saying every point matters. Like literally, last year I think I saw 2 different series be separated by no more than 3 points. So, got to get what you can get, even on these stages. People think they're gimmicks, but at the end of the day, they matter. So you got to play it out the way you need to play it out. And we're gonna see. We saw the 12 try to do it early this last restart, and it failed. Not to say it could not happen, or at least attempt could not happen again, but we'll find out. Top 5 is 85 of Kilday, Alex Green, Nathan Warren, Everett Lane, and Gary Bergeron. All 5 drivers, Dustin, started outside of the top 10, and they're all here trying to get stage win here this evening.
Yeah, as the pace car pulls off, Adam Kilday, Alex Green, your front 2 drivers. Green flag flies right now. The race is now to stage 1N. Excellent start by the 85 of Adam Kilday. Alex Green maintaining speed, pushing from Gary Bergeron. Nate Warren pushing the 85. And right now, 85 of Kilday almost clear of Alex Green as they work through the very bumpy turn 1 and turn 2. And you have Everett Lane, your pusher, third in line on the inside. And Mark Mann, so far the winningest driver this season here at the OP Buttkicker Grand National Series, is your pusher, third in line on the outside.
Bumpy, bumpy, bumpy on the tracks, on the cars, all over the place here on lap 32. Coming up to 33, we'll get the 3 to go signal at the line. And right now, the 85 has a slight advantage over the 3 of Alex Green just by a mere 1/100th of a second. Separates the top 2. And at turn number 1, a little more space given out between these guys here. Watch this launch off of turn 2. Gary Bergeron's going to assist Alex a great deal now. side draft involved here. There we
Third
go
lane
back.
coming in. Looks like Dude
Nose to
Conrad. He's trying. He's flirting. Nothing there. Nobody went with him. He pulls back in
Nobody.
line. So you know that the thought is there. Drivers are already trying to plan for that, Jeremy, on that third lane. But it's going to take an excellent timed run, and it's going to take help. It's not going to be a single car doing it. And again, remember, folks, if a caution comes out now, that is staged. So these drivers are pedal to the metal from this point all the way until that competition caution comes out for stage 1 completion.
Wreck 56, my Edgerton around mid-pack. Caution, there it is. Stage over. Adam Kilday is your stage winner. As he was going 3 wide in the middle, gets hooked in the left rear, sends him around. Caution is out on lap 34.
We're going to go back and take a look at the replay here, see what transpired. And this is going to be after the fact, so this Mike Edgerton was already getting involved in this one here. We're going to back that up. Oh, and it looks like Anthony English getting a piece of that as well, and he was involved in the last one.
It was almost 4 wide. The 20 was sticking his nose up there.
Yeah, and it just looked like the 44 was in the center there, and it looked like just a little bit of a downward slope from the 56. A little bit of space in between the nose and the rear end of those two cars. So again, that awesome code that we have. Shane Posey getting collected and involved in that as well. Looks like Luttrell was able to squeak by. But yes, that will conclude stage 1. And your stage 1 winner, as you had already stated, is going to be the 85 of Adam Kilday.
And we are going to take our normal halfway break. We're going to take about probably a minute to a minute and a half, let these guys come down pit road. And then we'll come back and talk to the winner of stage, Mr. Adam Kilday. So we're going to take our pause for station non-identification. We'll be right back. All right, and we are back here. We're going to give ourselves enough time to talk to this guy on the car, number 85, Mr. Kilday here. So I'm going to find him in his channel, wherever he resides. Let's see if we can bring him in. There he is, team channel number 4. Adam Kilday, this is Jeremy in the Nerd TV booth. What's up, man?
Not much. How's it going?
We're doing pretty good up here. You said not much, but you got stage win, so that's kind of cool. You went from 17th to 1st in 35 laps. How'd you make that happen?
Yeah, we have pitted right when our window opened up to make it to the end of the stage. And then that one wreck happened just what was like five laps prior to the stage ending, and We came to the restart. I was leading the bottom with Nathan behind me, and Nathan was giving me good pushes to keep me in P1. And I guess luckily the caution came out, and I happened to be in first when that happened.
Now walk us through, because I'm trying to figure out this math here. What's the advantage of pitting right when pit sequence is available to make? Or let me reword that. What's the advantage of coming down first, right when the pit window opens up? Because I noticed a lot of times the first group that pits usually gets out ahead of everybody else. What's the science behind that?
I think it's pretty much like you're taking less fuel than everyone, and so that, I guess that has the part to play in it. And it's also if everyone's still like too wide, when they're going around an extra time when you pit before them, they kind of have a bit of a side draft battle going on, racing too wide. So when that next pack is coming around the following lap, their lap time is a bit slower. So I think that has to do with most of it, really.
Well, that's two excellent points there. I appreciate that insight. And we're going back to green flag here in just a quarter lap. You restart 10th place. Good luck to you. And maybe we'll talk to you after the race is over.
Appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. Get to it.
All right.
There's Adam Killiday, driver of the 85 here. Dustin, he wins stage and just says, yeah, not much. Just like a normal day at the office, right?
Right. Yeah, winning stages, winning races is not something that is uncommon for the driver of the 85. Adam's a cool guy. Glad to see him win it. So just calm. He just won stage race and just cool, calm, and collected. I love it. But we're going back green flag racing. Scott Wise in the 31 leading that inside lane. Andrew Schroeder in the 48 is on the outside. Got Mark Mann up there, your pusher on the inside. Nate Warren, your pusher on the outside, Jeremy. So now we are in the second half of the race. Now it's just making it to the end. There's no more stages. You don't have to worry about going up there and trying to get extra points for a stage position whatsoever, because there are no more. Now, the next one isn't until you see that checkered flag, and that's what these drivers are working towards.
100% there. I'm kind of looking at the 16 and 48, the top two on the outside lane. Nate Warren came on the radio, said, I'm literally driving through the 48. And let's see if he actually does that on our end. So I was kind of curious. You see him, they're losing a lot of speed, so it's like the 48 can't make the contact. He's not affected by draft, that's why they back down so much. Now the 48 goes to the bottom in front of the lane. Now the 16 can go full throttle past the 48, so maybe that clears out whatever situation was going on there with the net of the codes. And there goes the 48. He recognized the situation. He's going to drop down and let some people by.
Yeah, Andrew Schroeder, he's a class act guy. He doesn't want to sit here and ruin anybody else, and we've all had some type of mechanical or connection issues. Oh, 71, Sean McCara hard in the wall, and here we go,
no.
wreck. Oh, man. Schroeder's going to get a piece of that. Rothery heavy into the wall.
Where's McCaw's shit? There it is.
Oh,
admin
man.
Thrown. iRacing didn't throw that?
That is crazy that iRacing didn't throw that.
Wow.
How is... see, and that's...
And lack of flagmans.
Yeah, I scratch my head sometimes on the iRacing race stewards on when they throw cautions and what it takes to throw a caution, because you can't tell me that this was not going to be a caution. But this all started with Sean McCara up on that top side. He gets into the corner, wall scrapes, a little bit of wall glue, has to unstick himself, comes down, push it, and really doesn't. It's just an adjustment from Harold Rothery there to do it, but Harold didn't realize that Andrew Schroeder was still there. Contact is made. Andrew had nowhere to go on that one. He was on the low side, didn't know that Sean McCara was going to get stuck on that wall, and then just chaos ensues. Harold Rothery tries to get a hold of it. Hard impact into the wall. Dave Hunt gets a piece of it. Derek Donna down there checking up gets a piece of it as well. So number of drivers right now definitely getting their fair share of this one right here. But Jeremy, that's not the first time that it's super easy to wall glue here because that safer barrier, you can see how far that safer barrier sticks out there, and it takes away like 2 foot of racing surface, if not a little bit more. And it's very easy for drivers to misjudge how far out that safer barrier does stick.
It's bumpy too. It's not a smooth wall. It juts in and out and has its own character. So, really hard judgment between the bumps and the unsymmetrical portions of the wall. And when you go 3 wide and your car is shifting around, and of course you have the aerodynamics of the wind just pushing you around, and then you have the track itself, and then maybe you don't have a fresh set of tires on, so then you're handling issues as top of it. So it's just a very fun track. Let's just put it that way, to maintain 3 wide. But let's bring out our 4th caution here this evening. And top 5 right now is Nathan Warren, Scott Wise, Dude Conrad, Dana Shepard, and Lane Everett. But they're going to be changing as they cycle through the next time around the line. And the 48, poor Schroeder, he didn't get wrecked. He just dropped down and backed down like, 15 plus positions because of his internet connection. And then he gets involved in that wreck technically. So just a poor lap overall. Not his fault, of course, but just bad circumstances right there.
Yeah, and what I was talking about was, we have mechanical and internet issues. I mean, that is our mechanical failures in the sim racing world. And Andrew Schroeder's always one that when it does happen, he doesn't have any issues. He doesn't argue. He falls to the back. He doesn't want to affect his fellow competitors like that. And it's unfortunate that, he was falling back to not affect his fellow competitors. And then due to circumstances outside of his control, he was collected in part of that. And even in a small way, with right side damage and everything else, it's just sometimes, Andrew, if you go back and watch this, and he's been shouting us out on Facebook, and I appreciate that. We appreciate all the shout outs. But if you go back and watch this, Andrew, I'm like you, buddy. If it wasn't for bad luck, man, we wouldn't have any luck at all, my guy.
That's true. As much as people don't like to hear that, it is indeed true. So it's a good point. And but ultimately, we don't want bad luck, right? We just give me all the good luck, like you said earlier. Just let's win all the lotteries the same week, and then you'll never have to have bad luck ever again. Anything else wouldn't matter at that point. But we're going back to racing on the next lap, which will be lap 43 of scheduled 70. So that's going to put us at, 28 laps to go in this event. And if they go green dust in the rest of the way, they still only have 1 pit stop to make, barely, because they go about 18 laps. So 18, well, I guess not barely, 1836 with 28. So never mind. My math was off there almost, but 1 green flag pit stop required, and this thing is all said and done. We'll see how the strategy works out if there is another caution. Who pits, who doesn't on the first pit stop.
Yeah, and that's what it's going to be. It's strategy. Track position is going to be ever vital here. Jeremy, we've already seen a number of attempts on that 3rd lane, trying to get that 3rd lane to work in. And every attempt up to this point has led to some type of complication. The first real attempt was that after green flag pit stops, before the working up to stage 1 end, and they were 3 wide, and they had about 5 cars up there. And you've seen that that was the Crosby Jr. incident that took place. 3 wide there. We've seen 3 wide a couple times. Whether it was a single car or not, it's just the 3rd lane is so hard to get worked in here. The drivers are trying, but it's so difficult in these cars at this track. And I don't know if it's going to be able to work in successfully, Jeremy.
Yeah, we'll see. As things get more and more rubbered in, you never know. They can be more confident up there, and it's just difficult. So green flag is back out. Our 16 Nathan Warren quickly jumps to the top. Ooh, a little movement there from Guerrero. Almost got door checks the inside lane of Dude Conrad and Mark Mann. And 15 now side by side is going to quickly slingshot And then Vicente Guerrero came on the radio and said, I thought there was a gap there. That's why he moved down so quickly and backed out of it. Off of turn 2, everyone through the gearbox just fine. And you see it right down this very nice camera angle, almost straight down the back straightaway into turn 3. A lot of space given, a lot of movement though. And gonna be a clean lap, Dustin.
Yep, absolutely.
Almost. Hold on, never mind. I lied.
Whoa, save it, boys. Hold on to it.
I was so close to jinxing everything right
Oh, man. That was excellent car control for those drivers to keep that going. Racing still continues right now. 15 at Jeff Crosby Sr. Our man Senior up there leading some laps. Good to see that 15 Skull Bandit machine up there. He's getting pushes from the 8 of Dude Conrad, who had that excellent Gymkhana save during one of the earlier cautions. They are challenging and fighting against the 16 of Nate Warren and the 31 of Scott Wise. So good battle. See Mark Mann third in line on the inside. Vicente Guerrero third in line on the outside. And right now it's just 2x2, Jeremy. But excellent pushes, and it looks like if things keep going, well, that high side's getting a surge. Is the 15 going to be able to beat it? But it looks like Nate Warren got that lap.
Yep, Nate's going to have it. Oh, hook, saved it. Oh, my gosh, they're just checking up all over the place.
Look at the backfires coming out, and they're still, yep.
Gary Bergeron. We're still green. We're still green. I'm pretty sure the one had wrecked. Do we have Gary Bergeron on camera?
Yeah, he's there.
He did save it.
He did save it. Yep, he is
we
back
need
there.
Rewind. Can you give us a quick rewind, please? I want to see.
Quick rewind.
Let's see. Here we go. It looked like he didn't turn as much as I thought, but on the very right-hand side of the screen, I thought he was toast. Look at he's done.
Whoa, man. Oh, and barely makes contact with Luttrell. Luttrell helps straighten him back out. But my goodness, man, what a wheel there by both of those drivers. Luttrell sat here and took that right side door contact and just brushed it off, man. These drivers are laying it out there, and I like it. I mean, we're actually able to see their driving ability and car control on this, and that was a huge checkup up front with a bump from the 31 to the 16 that got that off. You've seen all the backfire come out, and Jeremy, we have a caution on the track.
Fifth caution tonight. Looks like it's going to involve the 47 of Rick Kuhn and the number 20 of Dwayne Corbett into turn number 1 in the middle of 1 and 2, really. And here we go. We're going to see the 20 Publix car come up quick and then just drives up into the left rear.
Yeah. He came up a half a lane.
Yeah, he came up on the radio and said sorry, but regardless of that, I mean, we appreciate that. And thankfully, Rick didn't hit anything. I'm like, the wheelmanship tonight's been outstanding, but.
Derek Donna. Derek Donna. Oh.
He's fine. He only just breathed on the wall. He's good.
Oh, that was excellent driving there by the 47 of Richard Kuhn to keep that damage down. Excellent heads-up driving by the 215 of Derek Donna, too. I mean, we have to give a nod off to Derek as well, because, I mean, trying to figure out where the car is going to go when a driver's trying to save it is one of the toughest things for a driver to do, because you typically want to go where they are coming from, not where they are heading to, because you're going to be collected. You do it like a deer. If you see a deer on there, you don't turn in the direction that they're running. You turn in the direction that they're coming from, because they're going to keep heading in the direction that they're going. But when it comes to a car like that, and it's so out of shape, and the driver's counter steering left and right, and it can snap left or right like that, being in the driver's seat of where Derek Donna was at is super tough, but he did a fantastic job of backing it down, just barely kissing the wall, but that car still looks super clean, so good heads-up driving.
Very good stuff. We saw the 16 with an excellent save there in the front, then we saw the 999 or the 1, depending on what you want to call him, Gary Bergeron with an excellent save. There's just been so many good moments in this race. Just showing the scale. Look at pit road, absolutely just flooded, Dustin. Cars everywhere, and this is they still have one more pit stop left. So they're gonna try to extend this up until probably what Adam Kilday notated is if you come down first, that's less fuel in the car. So they're all going to run this up until 18-ish laps to go. And then if they stay green at that point, which actually, no, I'm going to take that back because how do you do this testing? If they're going to go back to green flag on lap 50, which is 20 to go, do you think they'll really come down in 3 laps from the green flag, or do they go a little bit longer? That's kind of an early pit, but that's usually what they do here.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me to see that. So, you talked to Adam Kilday, and he stated the reason why those first drivers are able to do that is because it's putting less fuel in the car. That means it takes less fuel out of the simulated fuel can to put that fuel cell at full. So I wouldn't say, being it's this soon, I wouldn't say lap, with 18 to go, because we're going to get a restart with 20. I wouldn't say 18 to go. These drivers are going to want to give themselves a little bit of leeway with, the possible green-white checkers. And there's 2 attempts at green-white checkers here in the OP Buttkicker Grand National Series. So maybe 16, 15 to go. I would see that, but you might have some gamblers that might expect some cautions as well that might try to short pit it as well. But either way, you are going to see drivers short pit it for sure. And I would say it's probably going to be within 5 laps after we get the green flag. It would not surprise me.
My thinking here, when you were just talking, is let's say they do come down with 17 to go, right? That's like 3 green flag laps. What seems like nothing, basically, but it's the difference between now and then the end of the race. But what if they say they get like 5 drivers or 6 drivers together somehow on the bottom, and they all pit and they go single file while the rest of the field is 2 by 2 for 5, 6, 7 laps? Based on that, that's a huge advantage. So I'm curious. We don't usually have a caution with this many laps left. Exactly. So just outside that fuel window. So yeah, I think your lap count about 15 to go is probably going to be a good, accurate number for a decent amount of drivers. But I want to see someone pit 2 laps after this green flag waves rather.
Yeah, and we have seen these races have long green flag runs. I mean, we've seen them go caution free as well. So it's not saying that. I mean, there's still a chance that from the drop of the green flag on this restart, Jeremy, that they could go all the way to the checkered. And if that's the case, the people that short pit, they're going to come out smelling like roses on that because they're going to have enough fuel to make it to the end. Whereas the rest of the drivers, they're going to have to sit here and put more fuel in it in order to make it to the end. So they could lose more time on it. So it's going to be interesting. And that's a lot of people don't think that there's pit strategy when it comes to super speedways. They think, oh, you just get in the car, you just push the loud pedal down all the way to the floor, and you just turn left. You just stay in the draft. You work the draft. That's all you do. No, there is pit strategy involved in this, especially when we have scenarios laid out like this here where it's so close to being on that cusp of making it to the end.
Yeah, there's way more to it. The mental game is strong. It's a huge chess match. It's not just get in and drive. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Pace car's down once more. Waiting for the green flag for the 6th time this evening. And here we go. Green flag is out. Jude Conrad and the 16 of Nathan Warren going to lead off this restart into turn number 1, door to door. Everybody remains. No 3 wide takers into the first set of corners on the restart for the Zach Workman at Daytona. 21 laps to go. 16 is going to get a good run with the 24. He might... No, I don't think he's have enough time to clear him. But as soon as you see him cleared, probably in the next lap, he will shoot down to the bottom. And there's a little bit of 56. Mike Edgerton coming down pit road, Dustin.
Yeah, that's, again, not going to be able to fill it up to make it to the end. So, to me, that is to either possibly get damage fixed or possibly forgot to check something on his black box for pit service and had to come back down in order to get that corrected. That's happened a number of times, Jeremy. Forgetting to hit
Not Sebring.
Not Sebring, no. Not for Nerd Esports, where somebody forgot to check the fuel.
For a 12-hour race.
So it happens. There's a lot going on in the cockpits. And a lot of these drivers, they're not only the driver, they are their crew chief. They're the ones setting up the service they're going to be getting. So there's a lot going on. But up front, we see the 16 of Nate Warren does clear that inside line, drops down in front of Dude Conrad. That opens up the top line right now for the 24 of Everett Lane. And, Dude Conrad a little loose out of there. Cars checking up. You see Alex Green had to check up. Mark Mann had to check up. And that's going to allow that top line to surge forward even more. Everett Lane comes across the line, P1.
Yeah, bad bump on the inside, upset the number 8, and he chased that thing halfway down the first part of the front straightaway. He got it all gathered back up before tri-oval, but 24 gets a bad bump this time, shoots him up the track. A lot of cars not happy right now. You see him scattering all over the place, even a quarter of the way down the back straightaway. Headed off into turn number 3. It'll be 18 laps to go this time around. So next time by will be the deciding factor if we're going to have the super early takers.
Yeah, and I still wouldn't be surprised if we seen some actually take it. We restarted this race with 21 laps to go. I still wouldn't be surprised if we had some takers right when that opening hit. But if I was a betting man, drivers like to play a little conservative. Ooh, almost a little contact there. Drift up through the bumps from Dude Conrad to Everett Lane. But drivers like to play conservative. They like to give themselves a little extra, especially when there's green-white checkers involved. So it's going to be interesting. But again, we know that we're going to see drivers pitting way before their tanks are empty. That much is a guarantee.
There you go. Turn 3, turn 4, top two or single file, but Dude Conrad's going to jump up to the top. No takers this time by. 17 laps to go at the line. It's going to be a close one. And we're going to see Dude Conrad lead this time around. A driver the number 8 on the outside. Everett Lane doing a fantastic job sticking to the outside. I don't think I've seen that 24 Dustin at the bottom at all this whole race.
Yeah, if it was not for very long, he's definitely been rim riding it up there on the upper lanes more than he has been on the inside. But you see that top lane getting a monstrous run there as both Dude Conrad and Everett Lane double clear and drop down in front of the 16 of Nate Warren. That's going to leave the 14 of Vicente Guerrero and the 15 of Jeff Crosby Sr. in that top line until the rest of the cars finally catch up, and that's going to be help from the 999 or one on the side of Gary Bergeron and the 17 of Jimmy Reynolds.
Going off into turn number 1, 16 laps to go in the Zach Workman at Daytona here. Your top 20 still 2x2x2. Then they go single file the rest of the way as they tail off. Exiting turn 2 now. Still no drivers back there trying to make the 3-wide happen just yet. We still have that one guaranteed pit stop left to go. The 14 momentarily takes the lead with the 15 right behind him. Jeff Crosby Sr. helping Vicente try to lead this coming lap. And here we go. 1 car, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 cars, Dustin, down pit road this time.
Yep. Coming to that 15 to go. So I was, for once, Jeremy, I was on the money on my my deduction. Look at that, man. Miracles do happen, and everybody looks like they get onto pit road nice and easy. This will give them enough to make it to the end with a little bit of spare just in case of a green-white checkered. Question now is when is the rest of the field going to be coming down? Now remember, rules are you can only pit from the inside lane. So any drivers right now on the outside you can guarantee are not coming down this lap. But any drivers, we had a car up in the wall. Was that Derek Donna?
I think so. Why is there no yellow? Why is there no yellow? He's backed out, so that's good. But
what happened to
you would think
Derek
a car
Donna?
going 20 miles an hour on the top side, right in front of the leaders too.
Yeah.
Provoke caution.
What happened to the 215?
I've never seen a car. Oh, it looked like it broke something, like the wheel broke, or
Or again, a mechanical failure on the sim side, Jeremy. Wheel lost connectivity. to the
I had that
PC.
happen last night.
Yep. So that possibly could have been what happened right there. That is our form of a mechanical failure. So that's exactly what that looked like because he drove it in the corner and it just stopped turning. Like, just stopped and just went straight to the wall.
Yeah, I did that last night. I was dirt practice in the dirt 360s at USA and got to turn number 1 and it said "doomp," and I was quarter throttle into the wall, and then I could not get the thing to work for a half hour. So that was a true mechanical failure. Here's the next round of pit stops. About 7 or 8 of these guys this time around, with 13 laps remaining in this race. And after the cycle is complete, that's it. No more pit stops are to be had in the rest of this race. Even with a dual green-white checkered, I think they might be able to make the rest of the distance. And here we go off the turn number 4. Some of your leaders crossing the line, but the 15, the number 1, and the 071 and 84. About 4 cars, Dustin, left to pit.
I would expect them to come down this time, and they don't. So they're gonna stick it out. They can't have enough to make it to the end. They're gonna have to pit. We restarted this last restart with 21 laps to go. You get 18 on a good run from these cars. So there's no way that they're going to be able to save that much, and especially if you're Jeff Crosby Sr. out front, because he's burning way more fuel right now. So they're gonna have to pit. The question is where are they going to cycle in and rejoin the rest of the field on this one? Because right now, Chris Jordan is out here. He is running 5th place right now, and he's out here by himself. But then you have this monstrous pack coming up behind him, and this is going to be the pack that your 4 leaders right now, 5 counting Chris Jordan, are going to have to deal with. But this pack's going to be up to Chris Jordan here real quick.
Just to give you a speed differential, as it gets turn number 1, the top 4 are running 185 miles an hour in this 4-car pack. Going to that monsters pack you just talked about there with the 17, he's doing 188 entering turn 3. So those 4 leaders, you're not serving yourself anything good by staying out. So your guys are just hoping for a caution, I'd assume. But even if you pit, you're still going to be back in 20th place, so it's kind of curious. But there's your race EPI race telemetry there. 188, 189, touching 190 as you get to turn 1. Your top 4 are not doing that.
Yeah, and that's, again, why it's good to try to pit early like that, because then you're stuck in a situation that those 4 drivers are. Yeah, you have 4 drivers, but those 4 drivers are not going to be able to match the speed of this monstrous pack here. This pack is breaking the air barrier like no other right now, and they're splitting it. So, I mean, they're going to have to come in. Chris Jordan finally coming down pit road, and again, that pack was going to be catching them quicker than snot anyway, and he was going to be engulfed up. But these 4 drivers here, Jeremy, they're holding it out. And you know what? I admire the tenacity on that. And I've seen stranger things happen. You know, maybe they're hoping for a caution, and if the caution comes out, maybe they're able to save enough to make it to the checkered flag, not a green-white checkered. I mean, stranger things have happened. We've seen drivers do that, and they've crossed the line and then ran out of gas. So, I mean, these drivers, they're constantly calculating everything they're doing.
Every single thing. At least they don't think about the pit stops anymore unless you're the top 4. Everybody else, that thing is outside of their scope of vision. They're just trying to get to the best finishing position possible. Let's look at this 2 by 2 by 2. The only thing good the top 4 are doing is not wrecking each other. This pack could produce the second biggest wreck at any moment in time. You see a little movement there, but they're giving each other a ton of space. Dustin off a turn 2 this time, just side by side by side. Every single driver is all the way through, which is about a pack of 20-ish cars. 56 Edgerton, he goes down. He's multiple laps down from his unscheduled pit stop right after the restart.
20 got in the wall there. He was following. Yeah, he was following the 3, and again, that spatial judgment with that safer barrier, it gets a lot of people. But it looks like we got the we got Kenny Reel out there trying to get something going with that third lane right now as he's up there. He got a little help from the 3 of Alex Green. So 8 laps to go, Jeremy. And we got drivers really trying to get that third lane really cushioned in right now. And Kenny Reel is making some ground up on that top side as he's still hanging on. Man, that was a heck of a run. And you have the 23 of Sebastian Mayer and the 88 of Gabe Butler jumping up there as well. And Kenny Reel was going to merge back into the center lane. He's going to factor in third to fourth, depending on where his nose is at right now. And Jeremy, he come from all the way back at about 15th.
Yeah, about 15th. That is absolutely correct here. Leaders still not pitting as we're focused on the main pack of cars that will be your race leaders whenever the top 4 do decide to pit. 3 wide here for about 6th or 7th place in this pack. Nate Warren gets a little pinch there from Jimmy Reynolds, slides up the track just a little bit, tags the apron. This has got to be scary for the 16 as they get off turn 2. Still 3 wide. 3 wide now for 2 rows deep. Dustin, they are getting the racy with 6 to go.
Yep, and this is the time that we expected that. You see Crosby Jr. and Zach Fritsch up on the high side. Now Nate Warren, FSR teammates, all lining up on that top side. I would expect McCara to go up there as well, another FSR teammate. So FSR, 4-car run on the top side, and we did get confirmation from Derek Donna. Buddy, sorry to hear that. It was a mechanical failure with his wheel. The steering wheel shut off, and that is why we seen the events that took place where he just kind of drifted up into that corner wall there. But 3 wide battle up front. Mark Mann on the inside, Gabe Butler in the middle, Crosby Jr. on the outside. Jeremy, this race is heating up right now, and that third lane finally took all race long, finally making its presence known.
Derek down just a touch up on his point. He's 17th in points, 3.
Oh, what a save. What a save by Crosby Jr. Wow.
The top 4 have finally come down pit road, so this is now... they're still...
There we go. There it is. Wow. That was almost a save by Les Levy.
Yeah, there was so many different saves in that one, but the 62 not only gets jacked up in the rear when he hits the wall, the virtual world takes over the 62's car and absolutely destroys this thing. Watch him go airborne in the tri-oval. There's the first wreck that should have happened, which didn't.
And that's what sent Les down there. He made contact with Dana Shepard, brought it back up, had it saved. And man, and that contact didn't even look like it was that hard, but it was enough from Everett Lane that it just launched Les Levy's rear end up in the air. Spin cycle in the air, down in front of Dave Hunt. Oh, man, and then Steve Luttrell.
What a camera angle.
Wow, Steve Luttrell gets a small piece of that. Man, that was a wild hit, though, because it didn't seem like it was that hard, but, man, it just shot his car straight up in the air.
Yeah, that was... I love the camera angle. These Whiplash cameras are just doing some work, especially that view of that wreck there from Les Levy, all 4 wheels up off the ground. And it takes about 5 or 6 cars to send this to our 6th caution here this evening. Now, when these guys go back to racing, it's going to be on lap 68, maybe 69, which will be an unscheduled green-white checkered if it goes to 69. And, yeah, so I might have 3 attempts looking ahead. There's 2 laps to go. We're going to take a quick breather because we still have a couple laps post-race interviews. So we're going to mute our mics for about a minute or so, and we'll be back before the drop of the green flag. All right. And do you believe we are back? We were going to go green flag on the last lap, but there was a lot of scattering throughout the whole entire track with lap cars in lead lap. I think one was even up towards of a half lap ahead of the pace car that was supposed to be behind it. So they had no choice but to delay it, so make it a green white checkered. It was not going to be an official green white checker. The delay happens to make it a green white checkered. So that's kind of an odd situation. So now we're going to have one of two attempts, not one of three. And there we go. They got it all sorted out, Dustin. I think we are definitely going green flag this time.
Yeah, and so here's the thing. This is where strategy is going to come to play in. 84 Len McNeese, 071 of Eric Lowry. I believe they're trying to stretch that fuel, Jeremy. So while we were taking our non-commercial, thanks Stream Deck, impromptu break to give our voices a little bit of a rest before we call this wild, fantastic finish we're about to call, they were definitely shutting their motors off. They were killing the engines and everything else. And Jeremy, you've been sim racing as long as I have. That's usually a driver's way of trying to save and conserve fuel as much as possible. Kill the ignition, push the clutch in, let it coast, and that's exactly what I seen both the 84 and the 071 to do. So we're gonna have to see what's gonna happen, Jeremy. But it's gonna be a wild finish nonetheless. Driver's gonna be going all out. Here we go, getting ready, going back green.
Green, white, checkered. Len McNeese, your race leader. Eric Lowry second, Gabe Butler third, Jeff Crosby fourth, and Mark Mann, of course, is your top five. And the green flag is out. This thing is back under racing. And hold on.
Oh, was that senior?
Still yellow. We're still yellow flag. Oh, the 15 wreck. That's why. These guys are still going to speed because they have to go back around.
That's gonna hurt the fuel mileage. Oh,
Yeah,
that was
the
a
green and
huge
yellow.
checkup. Oh, it's that's like the worst case scenario. That was the 13 of Andy Berganti was blinking. We even seen it on our end, so it's hard to track where the driver is. Got the green flag. Somebody didn't go, and then the checkup is just an accordion effect there, and the 15 got in the back of the 13. That's what sent the 15 down to the inside there, and then it just came right back up. Man, that's...
Yeah, I was so confused. The green flag and the yellow flag were both thrown at the same exact time. I kept looking at my iRacing iFlag unit, and I kept saying yellow flag, and I'm like, hey, we're green flag. I see Barney with the green flag in the hand, but it's still registering yellow, and that was it. So check up galore. They had a formal, Dustin. They had a great setup, but then they really spaced out right before the tri-oval, and in the back of the field got on the gas a little early and just all piled in.
Yeah, now, here's the funny thing. That was an iRacing thrown caution. Within 10 laps to go, they don't throw admin caution flags at OP. So that was an iRacing thrown caution. That brought a caution out from the iRacing virtual stewards. But the Rothery incident where he went up it had contact after Sean McCara got wall glued, and it collected like 3 others.
Not worth it.
Not worth it.
Not worth it.
Again,
No.
I stopped trying to figure this stuff out.
No, it's amazing sometimes what we have to deal with for very simple code. But this is virtual, so ones and zeros sometimes don't talk to each other correctly, and we're going back to a short, very short caution period. They hit the 1 to go signal right away, and then so we're gonna see what this now is it the well still. I don't know, Dustin. Last restart, it said extended to, right there. Last line of code for the previous restart. The previous one said this race will be extended to a green-white checkered finish. That means they have 1 of 2. This green flag, I don't think actually existed when they crossed the line. So iRacing is still calling it restart 1 of 2. So I guess we do get our 3rd green-white checkered back, because this will be, if you want to call it the second version of it, this will be the second of 3.
So take 2 on try 1.
Yeah, take 2 on try 1.
There you go.
That's what I'm seeing.
The only thing that it's going to throw a monkey wrench in, Jeremy, is if drivers like the 84 of McNeese and the 071 of Lowry, if they are trying to stretch fuel, this is going to make it harder because they're burning fuel out there on the track throughout this entire exchange like that. So that could throw a huge monkey wrench into plans that they're trying to do. They need this thing to go green and stay green to the end if they want to have a chance on it. But, Jeremy, they're going to have a lot of hungry drivers behind them ready to pounce. And we're getting ready to find out here real quick as pace car is getting ready to pull off.
All right. Let's hopefully back half the field can stay closed in, don't have any checkups, and let's get this thing going. Had a great front half of this race. It's been a beautiful race so far. And then just random iRacing shenanigans have kind of thrown a curveball into this event here. We do get the green flag officially, so this will be one of 2 green-white checkered attempts into turn number 1. The 84 and the 071 going to duke it out side by side, as we're going to see possibly the same thing that we've seen all night long. The 71 is going to get a great launch off the corner, exit possibly, depending on if Crosby can get to him. So far, not as good as a push as we've seen, but still got some nose into turn number 3.
Yeah, top side's got the nose into turn 3. Crosby Jr. giving good pushes. Got Gabe Butler on the inside giving pushes to Len McNeese as they're trying to get working nose to nose coming off of turn 4 right now, Jeremy. This is going to bring it in. If they can make it to the line without a caution, this will be it. White flag flies. Final lap. Len McNeese on the inside. Eric Lowry on the outside. Crosby Jr. is your pusher on the top side. 88 of Gabe Butler is your pusher on the inside. And they are neck and neck working through turns 1 and 2. A lot of space, though, in between some of these drivers as actually that top side floats to the 3rd lane. Now they got Sebastian Marin up there. Kenny Reel further back. Mark Mann gets squirrely. Wow, what a save. Marin looking to go to the 3rd lane. He's got help from Kenny Reel. They're trying to take it to the 3rd lane. Wall contact. That's going to end their run right there. Len McNeese has a nose as Kenny Reel slides into the wall. Len McNeese getting big pushes from Gabe Butler coming off the corner. Eric Lowry, though, fighting back. Jeff Crosby trying to give him pushes. And your race winner is going to be Len McNeese.
By 9/1000ths of a second. Great pushing there from Gabe Butler. Man, he almost wrecked. Actually, no, that would have been, yeah, Gabe Butler. The outside, the 33, almost wrecked Eric Lowry trying to get him to that checker flag, but just could not get the job done as they started to pile him up in turn 1 and turn 2 here. The 84 with his first win of this season.
What a finish, though. And I tell you what, I mean, Sebastian Marin, Kenny Reel, they had that thing timed perfect. They were going to have an excellent run up there. They had the slingshot momentum. Sebastian had the help with Kenny Reel. And again, it's that distance variance and trying to, judge that distance. And it got both Sebastian Marin and Kenny Reel. They both got in the safer barrier going through the corner like that. And that's what ultimately just slowed their run down. Any momentum they had, it was gone in that instant. And then chaos ensued behind as Kenny Reel was trying to regain it back up, bounced off the wall. And I thought for a second that inside line had it down, that they were going to, have it, that the middle lane was not going to have a chance, Jeremy. But I tell you what, Jeff Crosby Jr. gave some big pushes to the 071 to get him up there and almost got Eric Lowry able to steal that win away from the 84.
And just to bring up the point situation, Len McNeese came into this thing 22nd in points. He was about 25, 26 points out of being in the top 16. Erase that. He is locked into the playoffs in 1 month from now. So it's going to shift someone that's in out. We'll figure out who that is starting next week. But Dustin, he can't do his burnouts. So we don't have to call him out for hitting the wall. But we're going to go over the unofficial results here tonight. Top 5, Len McNeese, Eric Lowry, Gabe Butler, Jeff Crosby Jr., and Mark Mann. 6th through 10th is Adam Kilday, Jimmy Reynolds, Sebastian Marin, Rick Sanchez, and Gary Bergeron. 11th through 15th is Richard Kuhn, Anthony English, Zach Fritsch, Nathan Warren, and Dana Shepard. The rest of the top 20 is Justin Coy, Douglas Johnson, Andrew Schroeder, Scott Wise, and Everett Lane. 21st on back is Vicente Guerrero, Christopher Jordan, Alex Green, Dude Conrad, Stephen Luttrell, Kenny Reel, Dwayne Corbett, Sean McCara, Harold Rothery, Les Levy, Jeff Crosby Sr., Ike Edgerton, Andy Briganti, Dave Hunt, Robert Hooligan, Derek Donna, and Shane Posley is going to round out tonight's field. We're going to go. Oh,
we can't go big full screen, my man.
I know. I wasn't going to say
no,
it.
I had to laugh because Kenny Reel popped in after we were just talking about the momentum they had, and he goes, "Well, we screwed that up." It happens, my guy. That's what we were just talking about. You guys had it timed right. This track, sometimes it's a love-hate relationship. Sometimes you may have the right spacing, things work out, and other times that wall just that wall's just a jerk. So I mean, you guys did good, my man. So no, if you have them lined up, Jeremy, we can sit here and go ahead and pull them in now, man. We'll make this happen. We're gonna make this work.
All right, give me like 5 or 10 seconds. I can get everyone shifted over.
Because we're not going to see a victory celebration out of the 84 because that car is tore up. Gabe Butler trying to help him go the right way. His steering's completely gone, so Gabe Butler trying to hit him to straighten him out. Yeah, we seen that, Ketty. We seen that. So Ketty Reel says did go from 19th to 3rd in one lap. Yeah, we caught that live on the feed. That was a hell of a run, my guy. That was good stuff up on that top side. So it was good. It was good racing. This race had a lot of good stuff tonight. Drivers really got to showcase their driving ability and ability to save because there were so many things that we thought were gonna be wrecks and probably should have been wrecks. And if there was any other driver with less ability behind the wheel, it would have been a wreck. But I tell you what, there was a lot of drivers that really showcased their car control tonight.
Yeah, they sure did. I got 2 of our top 3. I'm going to leave Mr. Len McNeese with his lonesome teammate in Team Channel 1 while we go ahead and talk to both Boot Naka drivers. 3rd place, Gabe Butler coming into the channel right now. And here's our official post-race animation. Look at that. So beautiful. And here we are. Gabe Butler, this is Jeremy, the Nerd TV booth. What's up, man?
Hey, guys.
Hey, congrats, man. You started 2nd, finished 3rd, so overall, fantastic performance on your end. You had one little moment there midway through the race where you had tunnel vision and caused a big one-ish on the front straightaway, but outside of that, fantastic performance. Kind of walk us through your night.
Yeah, I mean, you called it. I did complete amateur rookie stuff there and caused a lot of cars to get damaged, and I apologize for that. But that was a rough night overall, but we were able to get her back up on the podium at P3. It's always a good thing here at Mudby Daytona. I'm trying to get Len back to the pits, but I think I blew up.
You have been destroying his car ever since you piled him up there in turn 1, turn 2. Now we're in turn 4. You're crab walking about 20 degrees to the right, helping our first-time winner this season. But how'd you recover from the mid? Oh, okay, now you drive underneath him. There you go. How did you? That was a replay of mine. But how did you recover and get yourself back to P3?
Just a good pit stop there and some good strategy and stayed patient. And we had a good run there in the outside. I think it was with Seabass and Kenny. And all 3 of us were able to get clear there. And we were able to maintain our position after that. So, like I said, it worked out pretty good. And again, here at Daytona, Mudby Daytona, anything close to the podium is a good thing.
Yeah, it's the most difficult track on the schedule to make anything happen. Well, you did it, man. You did great. Overall, from 2nd to 3rd, we'll take it. Any final shout-outs before we let you go?
Yeah, big congratulations there to Glenn. It's going to be a bigger congratulations if I'm getting him over to the start-finish line.
You're trying
so
hard.
Yeah, but all the guys that are racing with tonight. OP, you guys up in the booth, you do a fantastic job. Love watching your broadcast, fellas. Keep up the good work, and we look forward to next time.
And you'll enjoy this one without fancy graphics. We've been handicapped by that all night long. So
Thanks,
a lot
technology.
more voice and a lot less
Technology.
graphics. That's right.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well,
right.
have a good rest of the night, and we'll catch you next week at Talladega.
All right, fellas. Have a good evening.
You too. All right, that was Gabe Butler, P3 from Team Bootnakas. And now we're going to bring in second place, also from that same team, Eric Lowry in the 071. Eric, congrats on P2.
Oh, thank you.
Very clean night, I think, from your camp overall. Your team gets 2 and 3 tonight. You started in 7th, so inside the top 10. We didn't really talk about you much, but you kept it clean. You kept it up in the top half of the field all night long. How'd you manage to avoid almost all the chaotic stuff that happened here?
I didn't avoid it at first. I had a few problems going into right on up to the midway point there. Was able to get everything all fixed and just keep trying to keep my nose clean at the last half of the race, and got lucky on a couple pit stops, and that's where I sit right now. So I'm happy for the run.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of wrecks that had multiple cars, so I wasn't able to pick you out, I guess, personally, out of one of those. You said about midway. What's the most challenging thing here at Daytona? Is it at the bumpy version? Is it the tire saving? Is it just the 3 wide when it happens? Is it just when to bump at the correct time? Like, what's the most difficult part, do you think?
Well, you can push here just a tad, but you just can't get over anxious, ramming somebody to give them a head. I didn't have no problem pushing anybody. It's hard to push anybody here, though, anyway, with how bumpy it is. But
Yeah.
I just kept trying to keep going here with the end there. I want to thank Crosby there for pushing me. Couldn't have done it without him. And you guys do a great job up here and doing the broadcast. I love it.
Oh, we appreciate that, my guy. Yeah, and I tell you what, man, I thought for sure that your guys' chances when Seabass and Kenny Reel went to the top side and then they scuffed the wall and it slowed them down and it kind of slowed you guys down a little bit, and Len was out front. I was like, man, that just ruined it. But I tell you what, Jeff Crosby Jr. gave you some excellent pushes, and when it was coming to the trial, when I seen how close it was, I was surprised too. I mean, you and Jeff, I mean, you guys gave it one hell of an effort for sure on that top side and almost had it, man. So hats off to you and Jeff for sticking with it, man, all the way to the end, because that was a hell of a finish for sure.
Yeah, it's hard to pass here, though. But yeah, I just got to thank him again. Couldn't have done it without him.
Yeah, Hellacious bump almost sends you around, but you still got P2 tonight, man. Anybody else would you like to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, again, I want to thank you guys for what you do. I want to thank all the boys in the camp tonight. It was fun running with them. All the help they give you, everything else, I just love it. Thanks to everybody else that I'm not thinking about.
Thank you to the thankless is what we're hearing here. But all right, man, we'll go have a good rest of your night. Next week is Talladega, so a lot smoother of a track and a little bit more wider, some more racing area. So good luck to you next week, and maybe we'll talk to you then.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to pass at that one.
For sure.
You guys have
All
a
right.
good night. Thanks again.
Yes, sir. All right, there's your runner-up tonight, the 071 Eric Lowry, and now we're going to turn our attention to the victory lane scene. Do we have that graphic? I don't know.
We do.
We have it. Look at that. Len McNeese coming in 22nd in points. Gonna just take a top 16 spot away from somebody eventually. Who that is, we'll figure that out. But Len McNeese, congratulations on the win tonight, dude.
Oh, thank you, sir. Got lucky there, didn't we?
Couple of big wrecks. One that involved 27 cars. You started 36th, and so you basically went from last to first. How did you do that tonight?
it worked out there at the last run, the fuel run there. When everybody come in, we just come in, just took a splash of fuel and got back out about the time they started wrecking, and we just was able to beat them out, and that saved us. That's what got us out front.
Yeah, what was that call like, by the way? Just 4 cars by themselves going about 5 to 6 mile an hour slower each lap. You know you couldn't make it, and you risked it all anyways. So was that call just like solely reliant on a caution?
It was hoping there's going to be a caution. You know, the way the night has been going on, had a lot of cautions and stuff, and we just, my thought was just cross our fingers. Maybe there'll be a caution. We can get enough fuel under caution and go. And got down to there, and it's like, okay, we've got to go, or we're not going to, we're going to be really bad shape. And just took enough fuel to make it for the next. And I was afraid that there at the end, with the cautions kept messing up with the pace car, that we wasn't going to have enough fuel.
Dustin, you have anything for our first time winner this season?
I tell you what, man, you drove a heck of a race, my guy. Good to see you. Good to see you in victory lane. And I didn't know coming to the end how that was going to work out. Seabass and Kenny Reel getting the run on the high side, and then the wall scrape, and they slowed up, and that center line slowed up, and Eric Lowry kind of slowed back. I mean, you cleared that top lane. You could have pulled up in front of Eric right then and there. That's how far ahead you were. And then they made a run back. What was going through your mind? Because I know from a driver perspective at that point in time, you're watching your mirror, especially coming out of turn 4 and down that little dog leg to the tri-oval. You're watching your mirror. What was going through your mind when you seen the Lowry Crosby Jr. start to gain momentum there and creep forward closer to you?
Well, I have to thank Gabe for staying with me and pushing, and that was, I was just hoping he would stay right there, and I didn't see him jump out, so I knew he wasn't clear, so I was hoping he would stay with me and push, and he did, and I have to thank him a lot. Plus, he got me back to up here in the front too, but after the race. But that was it. I just, I was relying on Gabe to push, and was hoping the bottom line paid off, and it was close, wasn't it?
It was closer at the line than what I can't speak for Jeremy, but it was closer at the line than what I expected based off of how you guys come off turn 4. So you guys definitely surprised me, but I mean, you and Eric did an excellent job. It was an awesome race to the finish there, super close. You guys had probably 2 of the best pushers in OP behind you. So, I mean, it was definitely a true testament to all 4 of you guys there. But, I mean, you guys put on a heck of a show. Good finish. I love the strategy that worked out like that. I love it when there's strategy for pits and fuel at super speedways like that, because it keeps everybody on the toes, including us. So, excellent job, man. Glad to see you in victory lane. But this is your moment, man. You got any shout-outs, any thank yous you want to give?
Well, definitely want to thank you guys up there at Nerd Twos, putting on a great show that y'all do every week. I enjoy watching it, even though I'm usually not up here in the front, so it's fun to watch it. And thank all the the OP guys over there, all the admins and stuff that behind the scenes put all this races on for us, and really do appreciate it. And my teammates there from the Speedway monkeys and stuff. So I mean, it's just tickled to be here for a change. Just a different pace to be up here and be able to win one of these for a change.
Yeah, man. It's awesome to see it. Congratulations again, dude. Well deserved. And we'll catch you next week at Talladega, where there's no longer a worry if you're going to make it or not.
Hey, that takes a little monkey off my back, don't it?
Absolutely. Go have some fun, dude. You got 3 weeks of just enjoying racing.
Hey, I like that idea for a change.
Well, go get them. Maybe we'll talk to you next week, too.
All right. Well, thanks, you guys.
Yes, sir. That was Len McNeese racing his way into the playoffs, Dustin, from 22nd to N. There you go.
Sometimes that's all it takes. I mean, all it takes is a little bit of luck, and you're in. That's what it's all about. So I mean, I'm super glad to see that. I've been in that situation, where you had to win in order to get in, to lock yourself in, or you had to finish a certain position in order to make it on points. It's never a good feeling when it's coming down to crunch time and coming down to that line, but I know the feeling of getting that monkey, the proverbial monkey off your back that Len was talking about. So super, super happy to see him break his way in on there. I mean, the race tonight, it was hands down, it was better than what it was last week. I mean, we've already covered that, but I mean, we have to showcase and talk, Jeremy, on our closeout here about the amount of saves that would have and probably should have, if it was probably any other drivers, been complete disasters in a big one. They did a fantastic job in showcasing what they can do. I mean, it was amazing. And, hats off to Gabe. I haven't had the chance to talk and hang out with Gabe as much, but I mean, he's a stand-up guy, and hats off to him. I mean, he called it. And he had a rookie boo-boo, and it happens to everybody. But I mean, that's one of the best things is owning up to it like that. It's happened to me. It's happened to every sim racer out there. But was able to rebound. I mean, that's the testament to this is that never give up attitude. As long as the car's still going, reminds me back to my favorite eras, Jeremy, when Dale Sr. sat here and completely demolished his car, and they were getting ready to hook it up to tow it, and he goes, "Wait a minute!" He goes, "Will that thing fire up?" And it fired up. He goes, "Get the hell out of the way! I got a race to race." So it's that never give up attitude, man, and that's what I enjoyed seeing. Excellent racing, amazing car control and saves tonight. A great finish. So all around, it was a good race here at Bumpy Daytona.
Yeah, fantastic race overall, guys. Appreciate you joining in without our fancy graphics, but I feel like we did a pretty fantastic job doing everything we could without giving you visuals. So. With Dustin getting the call right with 15 to go for pit stops, I think that's going to grant him a gift of Steam Deck working again for tonight or tomorrow night's broadcast, which will be from the Pro Sim Racing Alliance ARC Series race from the fixed setup portion that they do every single Thursday that we're going to be covering. And so if you want to tune in, hopefully with graphics, then it's going to be the same time, 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central. You're going to join us for that at this same place, YouTube on Nerd TV. And you guys have a good rest of your night. Stay safe. Dustin, what do you got for him?
And as always, it's not goodbye. It's just till next time. Stay nerdy.
Back when nothing truly mattered and we hadn't had a clue, we fell into play the game. Nothing would ever be the same. There were times when there was laughter, there were times when there was joy, but they took it all away for the pleasure in our pain. Welcome to our whole new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we know. Welcome to our whole new world. All the lie you tried to hide away from the scars we made. This is your chance to understand we did not design this plan that was built for you. There's nothing you